And welcome to another episode of High Proof Ashes. I am your co-host, Jason JB Smoke, and of course, always with me.
I am Doran. You know the drill. No nickname, but we here, still doing it. Throw them in the comments. Might choose something.
Yeah, we might choose something. So, today we have for you something that neither of us have smoked.
That's a rarity, right?
I know,
there.
right?
That's a rarity.
It's a boutique or rare limited edition type cigar, and I may say it wrong, so forgive me if I do. But this is the Tatuaje Tuxtla, Tuxtla, and it's named after the region that the wrapper is grown in Mexico. So it's the Tuxtla region.
But it's got another name too, right?
So the nickname, I guess, is the tenderloin.
Tenderloin.
Yeah.
Tenderloin.
Yeah, so that's that's always an interesting thing when you tell people about a tenderloin. It's a cigar.
Yeah. We'll see.
But it's got a Mexican San Andreas wrapper, and aged Nicaraguan long fillers and binders.
Okay.
So I don't know what the age is on those, but they do claim to be aged. This is a Robusto, and it wasn't expensive. I mean, it was about $13.
Yeah.
So
a couple of people in our group have smoked it, and everyone has said it's very good.
Really?
I know we've held on to ours so that we can do it on the podcast. But I'm pretty sure you gave out a few of them.
We bought a 5-pack together, so 3 other people have gotten this.
So, and I think most of them have already smoked it because I've heard a couple people say it was pretty good.
Okay.
So we'll find out.
We're gonna get into this, but our bourbon for today.
So we're going with the Penelope Barrel Strength, and there are a couple of these out there. So this is the newest one, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes.
So it's 115 proof. So we love stuff that's a little bit more than 100 proof. It's aged at least 4 years. MGP juice. So I haven't had anything from Penelope that I don't enjoy. And we've had this bottle previously, so we're going back to it. And we wanted to do something new as far as a cigar, but we didn't want to chance it with a new cigar and a new bourbon. Right?
Correct. That is correct.
So we've got a bourbon that we enjoy.
That's right.
And a new
tried and true bourbon. But this one's a little bit different than the other barrel strength that we like.
Yes.
This one's a 4 grain.
Yep.
So we can take a look at the build that they tell on the back of it. But something interesting, I don't know if you heard, but recently MGP actually bought Penelope.
Yes.
Yeah. So they bought the brand, but
because it's that good.
Right. Well, they don't. It's a brand they don't have to establish, and they can just continue.
They just keep doing what they're doing.
Bankroll them, basically, right?
Yep.
And so, and then just make all the profits.
Yeah.
Why not, right?
Yeah. So I like MGP juice a lot. So, and Penelope, like I said, I have not had a bottle of Penelope that I haven't enjoyed. I'm not a fan of toasted, and I actually enjoyed the toasted Penelope as well.
It is good.
There are a few Penelopes out there that I'm still searching for that I haven't been able to find yet.
Yeah.
That Rio. The Rio is the biggest one.
I'll find a picture for you guys and throw it up there. But it's a beautiful blue, beachy type label. Beach Boys.
Yeah. I like
theme labels or whatever.
I can't wait to try it. So we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see. But I'm gonna go ahead and cut here light and then get into a little bit of bourbon. So it looks like this actually has a little pigtail up there. It does. I'm not comfortable with pulling those.
No, I'm not either.
So I'm gonna cut mine, but it does have a pigtail up there.
So on the pre-light, it's kind of really light on the aromas. Not a whole lot there.
As usual, I'm using a guillotine.
Yeah, same here. Same thing on the pre-light draw. There's not a whole lot there.
No, but it's got a great cold draw. I can tell you that.
It does.
It felt
not a whole lot of effort there. It's not a tight draw.
I'm looking forward to that.
I know. So let's see what the smoke production's all about, man. What's it? Is that a closed foot? I think it was.
Oh, it is closed, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Okay, wait a minute now.
That great of a cold draw with a closed foot.
Ashes all over me, man.
That's that closed foot.
Yeah.
Yeah. It likes to go all over the place. So I mean, right off the bat, it's at best it's a medium bodied,
It's quite
you
flavorful.
know, medium strength cigar right off the bat, but still flavorful.
That's kind of shocking. Like, that's pretty good. Like, I'm not even
That's
gonna lie. That's
yeah. I mean, that's right off the bat. It's pretty good. Like a little kind of barnyardy, kind of grassy.
kind of chocolatey. Get like some chocolate notes for that.
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
Pretty good.
Interesting.
I like that quite a bit, man. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
That is interesting. I do like that. Yeah.
It's got just enough strength, right? Being a medium body.
Like the retro on it is there's no burn at
No,
all.
it didn't hurt.
It's a very smooth retro. I'm kind of glad that this is our our early cigar of the night because we can really get the flavors from it.
All right, go ahead and get me a little pour here.
I get the feeling though it's gonna get a little stronger as we go.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so.
So as you can tell, we moved back to one bottle here. We felt like doing two, we might run out of bottles.
That and we felt like we were just drinking a little too much.
Yeah, a little too fast, right?
Right. A little too much, a little too fast.
Yeah, so
on the
we cut the episodes back a little bit.
Yeah.
From an hour to 36 minutes, so two
Right.
pours in 36 minutes.
I mean, I think it's important to tell you guys that because we always like to talk about consuming responsibly,
Absolutely.
and this was a responsible decision from a just drinking perspective, but
Yeah.
also just from there's lots of bottles out there, but there's not tons of bottles out there that we like.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't want to run out of bottles for you guys. Are we going to do one bottle every time?
Probably not.
Probably not.
But
we want to make sure we have enough to bring you guys good stuff.
Yeah.
But,
And again, we drink and smoke at Jason's personal lounge, so he doesn't have to go anywhere when we're done recording. Me, unfortunately, I got to go home. So, I guess one bottle makes it much easier for me.
yeah,
You know?
yeah, it will. So,
But
let's. Ooh, God, the aroma on this is so good.
it's very good, but I'll tell you this: it was a bit ethanol. Like a little bit of singed nose hairs there, just a few.
Just a few.
But everything I expect from Penelope. A little bit of sweetness.
I love the sweetness. I was just going to say, like, go ahead.
I was going to say a little bit of sweetness. Not a whole lot of bite on it.
Nope.
Very flavorful. Does exactly what you expect from Penelope. Does not drink like 115 at all.
Nope.
It hit the nose a little bit different, but drinking it doesn't drink like 115.
So on the mash bill, we've got 70% corn, 4% rye, 21% wheat, and 5% barley malt.
Okay.
So you definitely get the corn.
Yes.
I'm curious what kind of corn they used because it seems sweeter than
Some of the other things.
A lot of 70-ish% corn bourbons, But yeah, I mean, I'm with you. And Penelope's got some finished stuff. They've got that rosé cask finished and a few other ones, and they're all really, really good. Just
So
really
I mean,
good.
if I think about it, we've tried. So I know we've tried Architect.
Yep.
We've tried Barrel Strength. We've tried the regular Penelope. We've tried. God, I'm missing
Toasted.
several. Toasted.
The rosé,
Tennessee
Select.
Tennessee Select. Like, I mean, there's a bunch.
This
We've
one
tried
here,
a lot.
4 grain.
And we've had them all.
Yeah, we've had them all.
So
that's 7 different ones right there.
and I enjoy all of them.
Yes.
So since we're talking Penelope, can you think right off the top of your head which one was your least favorite?
Probably the standard bourbon, just the standard straight bourbon, the $35. It's under 100 proof, and all the other ones I believe are over 100 proof. Maybe the toasted might not be, but the lower proof just doesn't carry it as well as the higher proof
I'll give you that.
versions. Yeah.
I'll give you that.
the flavor is still there, but it just doesn't get carried as well.
Well, so that's the other thing
So
though. But like the entry level Penelope, I don't think it's supposed to be the other bottles, right? So
it's not.
um,
I
when I
mean,
look at it as a whole,
it's significantly cheaper than all the
yes.
other bottles.
When I look at it
Like,
as a whole across the whole line that I've tried so far, I think the Architect was my least favorite.
okay, it's definitely down there. I think I enjoyed the Architect more than the
Standard
than the
fare,
standard
yes.
fare.
But so
But
like when I think about it though, like I kind of don't even
okay, so
include the standard
okay,
fare,
I got you. Then
right?
yes, I agree. Like if we don't include the
Because
standard,
do we?
yeah, it's unfair to include that one, right?
It is.
So okay, so getting rid of that one, the Architect is probably the one that I'm least impressed with.
Okay.
But it's still good.
It's very
like
good.
I think that's a real point here is that like the Penelope line is a really really great line.
I agree.
I mean, MGP wouldn't have bought them if they weren't.
No.
Right?
No.
So
thoughts on the cigar? I'm about low past the foot here. Getting close to being past the foot. Consistent so far. The burn is a little shaky.
it is a little shaky,
right?
And I mean, these have been resting a while.
Yeah.
So this is not a rest problem or a humidity problem.
So the burn is a little shaky. The ash, a little shaky as well. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I went ahead and ashed because I want to see this cherry.
Yeah, let's take a look.
And it could be that it's just the way that we're smoking it. I mean, this is like I don't know about you, but I'm taking quite a few puffs quite often.
I have,
and
too.
that can ruin the burn, and so could be just one of those things where we just need to slow down. So, kind of one of those like cigaring, 201 lessons.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And when you start to see an uneven burn, or when you start to see, and you're almost starting to see it here, where the burn line, so I just ashed it, right? So everything you're seeing is the cherry. And you see how there's like a dome there? It's not like straight across.
No, yeah.
Right?
Mine's the exact same way.
Right. So what that's telling you is you're smoking it too fast.
Yeah.
Like slow it down.
I agree.
So
I agree.
But I'm enjoying it, and so it's hard for me to not smoke
That's the problem, right? Like I smoke when I smoke. So
right.
If it's a good cigar, I'm probably going to go through it fairly fast. In comparison to a lot of other smokers, right?
Right.
Me and Jason do smoke pretty fast.
This is very true.
But very good cigar, enjoyable so far. And again, it's a boutique cigar, so I'm not too familiar with the manufacturer. So, some of these things are expected from a boutique cigar, right? Like they don't produce a whole bunch of them, so the quality is not going to be the same as something that's mass produced on a huge scale, right? Or something that's been made for a really long time that they perfected. This one is something that they're trying out and trying to see if it's something that'll stick.
Speaking of the kind of the boutique or limited or rare type, cigars, we have a big group chat of a bunch of people, and like it seems more and more that people are throwing things in the chat of like, hey, here's this like rare cigar that I've heard about that I'm super interested in.
Yeah.
Like everybody keep an eye out. We've talked about how whenever we go to other lounges and stuff that we try to look out for stuff for other people, and that's that. And I'm seeing a lot of chatter about that. I put something in there. Corey put something in there. This came from Crowder in the chat, and so I put something in there for you guys to if you were interested, and I was very interested in it. So I went ahead and bought bought 5 of them. I would say it's a 5-pack, but they only sold them in singles. But it's maybe we'll bring it to the podcast. I'm a little worried about smoking because I just got them.
Okay.
I'm a little worried about the humidification because they were genuinely like authenticity guaranteed aged.
Okay.
Like I took one of the cellos off and the thing is like yellow.
Oh.
From the aging process of the tobacco. Yeah, of the cigar.
Got you. I got you.
And so like I think it's like 7 or 8 year aged.
Well, that should be a pretty good stick.
Right. But the stick felt a little dry to me, and that's apparently the aging process they used was cooler temperatures and lower humidities.
Okay.
And so like I want to bring that back up
just a
to,
little bit.
you know, a 70-ish humidity
I got you.
before I smoke it. So I might give it a couple of weeks, I think.
So that's a good
to be
question
sure.
for you, since I don't know if we've ever talked about this on a podcast. What's your um, ideal humidity and temperature?
I think we have talked about it, but for me, I strive for, you know, 70 and 70, right?
Okay.
70 degrees, 70%. And so and what I mean by that is in the cigar,
Mhm.
humidity wise, in my, you know, on the hydrometer, you know, I typically run about a 72, because the number on your hydrometer is not the number on the cigar.
Agreed.
Right? By the time it gets through the box and the cello and all that, like, and into the core of the cigar, it's not 72 anymore.
Right.
Right. And so I don't, I want it to be, I want the cigar to be about 70, right? But I don't know that there's a big difference between, like,
60 and 70.
yeah, like I was going to say 65, 75, but yeah, like that 10%,
Mhm.
I mean, you know, and listen, if you happen to know, or you could reference something to us that, like, I can read about, like, I'd love it. But I don't, like, because there's been times where I've opened up my Humi, and I have the automatic, like, plug it in type humidification system, right? And so, like, I don't know, I don't check that regularly. I don't know that that thing's running low until I see the little, you know, the gauge, and
Right.
it's running low.
Right.
Right. And it's like, oh, I guess it's time to fill the thing up again, which I actually just did that a couple days ago.
I got you.
But
so for me, I keep mine like, and I've got a chest humidor, right? So of course mine's isn't as big as Jason's, but pause, hold up, take that back. My humidor is not as big as Jason's, but I keep mine's around 68, right? So I don't know, I like mine's a tad bit lower.
Mhm.
But
I think, you know, it's both preference and what the type of cigars you're smoking.
yeah.
You know,
So I
certain
know
cigars,
Cubans are supposed to be like
Lower.
lower.
Yeah, they
So
are.
I don't have a whole bunch of those in my
Right.
humidor, so
Yeah.
I don't try to get down to that 64, 63.
Right.
You know, I try to stay up around 68, and hopefully the cigars are somewhere around 65.
Yeah. So, and you use the Boveda packs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, for you, it's easy, right? I mean, it's, you know, you get the number you want. You probably get the 68s, right?
I buy the
And-
69s.
Okay.
And the chest, you know, and it drops a little bit.
Right.
So
Again, you want a couple of points, whatever
Yeah.
number you're looking for. You want to buy, you want to set it to a couple of
Yeah.
points higher.
Yeah.
So, and it's interesting when we moved into the new house and I set up the lounge, I had to set up a different kind of HVAC, you know, control of my, you know, air temperature in here,
Right.
right? And I found that I was actually having trouble keeping the humidity down.
really,
Yes. It was reading at, you know, at one point I came in here and it was like 80%, and I'm like, whoa,
yeah, that's
not-
way too much.
That's way too much, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And so, like, I would open the door and just leave it open, but the problem was the humidity in the room was high, and so, like, it would take forever to equalize. So what I ended up doing was I just pulled out a bunch of dried up Bovedas and just stuck them all over the
Okay.
over the Humi. And, you know, the great thing about Boveda is it's two-way humidification. So if it's
Mhm.
over humidified, it'll actually
It'll
take
pull it
stuff,
down.
Yeah, it'll
Yeah.
pull it in.
Yep.
And so I actually have, you know, some semi dried up Bovedas in here all over the place.
I got you. That makes sense.
And so between the automatic humidification and the Boveda packs drawing in anything extra, like, I've had no issues now.
That's good. That's good.
So,
I like it. So, any new thoughts on the cigar?
for me, it's ramped up a little bit. Like, the retro's a little stronger.
Let's see.
Like, which I was halfway expecting that, just because of how light it started. For me, it started really light. I don't know about you, but for me, it was surprisingly light.
Yeah, it was.
But now I feel like it's where it was supposed to be.
So I don't know that it's gotten a whole lot better for me. It's from my palate, it just seems light in general.
Mm-hmm.
So if I say it's a medium cigar, it's on the lighter end of medium.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I can tell you this. So looking at it, right, slowing down just a bit, that burn's gotten a little bit better.
Yeah. Yeah, it has.
I'll tell you this: it does have great smoke production. Right, I'm getting some whisk
Mm-hmm.
with it, just holding it here. When I take a pull, you can see it's billowing out of the top there very nicely. Great smoke coming off of the cherry there. So I guess we should talk about the band. Very basic, right? Like it's green and white.
To the point.
It's very much to the point. There's not a whole lot of branding on it. It's got a very small um, emblem on the back, which I can't even make out because I'm halfway blind.
I think it's the
Um,
Tatuaje,
I
like,
think it's the
little
symbol. Yeah.
symbol or whatever that they have.
You've got the Tuxla on the front,
Yeah. Very
and
just
it's just one band.
basic text, like.
So if I was to walk into a brick and mortar, this probably would not jump out at me, right?
Right.
Somebody would have to tell me like, "Hey, this is new.
Yep.
You should give it a shot." Otherwise, I'd probably look right past it and not see it.
Yeah, I feel like this is something that if you bought it in a shop, you already knew what you were buying.
Yeah, you went in looking for it.
That's right.
Yeah. So it's not a cigar that is going to jump out and grab your attention. But I think it's a pretty good cigar. And you said that you think the price point on this is around 13?
We paid 13 for these.
Okay.
So, that's.
I'm not 100% sure this is a $13 cigar.
So, I think if this were a mass-produced cigar, I would agree with you.
Right. But
because it's not a mass-produced, it is a limited type cigar, I think they didn't go crazy with the price point because I don't know that they could have went much higher.
Right. And also the cost to produce it, I don't know that they could have gone much lower.
Right. And that's the thing. Like, if it were 15, would I have bought it? I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe. But any more than that, probably not.
No. I definitely wouldn't go above 15.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
not even, no.
I feel like it's right in the middle, kind of where it should be.
Yeah.
Just based on how it smokes, the way it tastes, who it comes from, the limited nature of it, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I agree. Very good smoke production, though. Like, very good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not disappointed.
No, not at all, right? So again, it's one of those things that we smoke a lot of cigars, so I gauge everything against everything I smoke. So this being a boutique at $13, is it as good as some other boutiques I've had? I don't think so.
No, it's not.
So it's a toss-up, right? Like, am I enjoying it? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But part of the reason I'm enjoying it is because I'm drinking bourbon and hanging out with one of my friends, right? So it's kind of one of those things.
And it's new. Like, it's the first time
it's something we haven't done.
Yeah, like, so there's a little bit of experience that goes with that, and if it ever comes up in conversation, like, somebody brings up the Tuxtla and you're like, oh, I've had one of those.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm all about trying, new stuff. And, like I said, the ones I just got in, the band would not have called to you on this one either.
Right.
Like, you actually might have thought that this one's a cheapo. Like, just because of what it's called. I'll show it to you when we're in between. But
gotcha. I gotcha. But I mean, again, so far so good. Like, I'm enjoying it. The burn did get better, like I said. The ash is still worrisome, so I'm gonna ash it again because if I don't, it's gonna be in my lap.
I feel like the light draw is making the ash build sacrifice.
Yeah.
So like it's almost gonna just fall off, right? Yeah. But I mean, it's a decent draw.
Yeah.
And it's really good smoke production. The construction on it is really great, other than that ash doesn't look like it would hold on very long.
No. I'd be curious to know how long Corey kept his ash on this. Right. Can't wait to get him on the podcast so y'all can see him.
He likes to challenge himself.
Yeah, he likes the challenge of keeping the ash on the whole cigar.
He does.
And he's very good at it. Yeah. So I'm interested to see what happens when, we get him on the podcast, see if he takes the challenge to keep it on throughout the whole podcast.
He probably won't the first time, just because of what we're going to smoke and how long it takes to smoke it. But
that's what makes me think he'll try.
You think so?
Yeah.
He might. We'll have to see. So we've still got to set up that date so that we can get that recorded for you guys, and then get it on the interwebs. So
interwebs.
Yeah.
I like it. Jason is, acting like a 70-year-old man. The interwebs, feel like that's something like my granddaddy would say. Boy, you been on them interwebs today?
It was supposed to be a joke. I didn't really like mean it, but that's what I was really saying.
The interwebs. I like it. But yeah, so far so good. Can't complain at all. Talk bourbon. Let's talk bourbon, right? We haven't done that yet.
I mean, I just finished the pour I made. I mean, it's really good. It's very sweet. I mean, it's like a honey sweet. Like, we've talked before on other bourbons where it's like a refreshing kind of fruity sweet. That's not what this is. To me, this is more like a honey, just a honey sweet. And it's not honey barrel finished and, any of that stuff.
Right, right. No, I get what you're saying. Like it's a
just,
natural sweet.
It's a very natural, sweet bourbon. Like,
yeah.
So, that's, if you like sweet, like if you don't like rye, like if sweetier,
more sweet,
yeah, more sweet is kind of what you're looking for. Man, this right here is just so good.
And again, it's 115 proof, and you don't get any of
that.
that.
Yeah, it blows my mind.
So this one is dangerously proofy, right? Because when you drink it, you don't get the proof at all. So you could have several pours of this and then find yourself in a place where you're like, uh-oh, might be in trouble, right? So as we always say, make sure you drink responsibly. Lots of water. You can see I've had a drink of my water already. Jason's having some now. So yeah. But also make sure that you like, comment, subscribe.
Yes,
hit that little bell so that you know when we're dropping.
Yep.
We're getting pretty consistent. I don't remember what number this is. Is this 11?
That is a great question.
I have no idea.
I think it's 11.
I think it's 11 too.
But I'm not entirely sure. I'd have to look it up.
Yeah. No matter. Thank you for being here. Anyway.
Yeah. And I'm playing around with some other recordings that we do sort of before and after the podcast, and just kind of playing around with that stuff. And it will, if we do end up releasing that stuff, it is unscripted, but it won't be uncut. So I'll be sort of, snipping and splicing, pieces of it to, make something that's a little more coherent,
I get it. But for the most part, our podcast is literally uncut.
It is. The actual podcast.
We just come in, we record, and we just rock.
That's right.
There's no script to what we're going to talk about. Literally, there's most of the times no script to what we're going to smoke or drink either.
That's right. This is one of the few times where we walked in knowing what we were going to smoke.
We knew what we were going to smoke, but we had no idea what we were going to drink.
That's right. But we did plan this from last time. Yeah. So, but yeah, you're right. Like, this is one of the few that we planned ahead.
So looking at this cigar and the time that we've been recording,
it burned fast.
It burns fast.
Yeah.
Right.
We're half hours in and probably halfway through the cigar. Yeah. Damn near.
Yeah, I think you may be a little further than me today.
Maybe.
Yeah, we might be about the same.
But I mean, I'm enjoying it. It tastes good. Yeah. The funny thing, we talk about the camaraderie and this is really great because I haven't seen you in several days. I haven't seen any of the crew in several days.
Yeah, me either.
And I'm excited to just have a smoke and a drink with you. So and then it's new, so that's exciting. So I'm
that's the thing, man. Like, our podcast is literally two friends just smoking and having a few drinks. If the camera wasn't on, we'd be doing this anyway.
Pretty much, yeah. Maybe a little more comfortably.
Yeah,
but, a little more kicked back, but
yeah, of course, we got to keep the people engaged,
right.
But for sure. We'd probably be talking some different subjects, and we're gonna bring some of that stuff to you too, right? Like, we're not gonna continue to just only be cigars and bourbon. We'll do some other things, right? But for the most part, we like our format.
Yeah, so it's funny you mentioned that because I've actually been as I see things that catch my interest, usually like articles or stuff on the news or whatever, I've actually been getting up, grabbing my phone, and just kind of jotting it down real quick, right? And some of it's like political stuff that we'll never talk about. But we have other people who do podcasts that I can maybe throw them their way and just be like, hey, here's a topic you could discuss that I thought was pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, so I read one the other day that I thought was interesting that you just piqued my memory about. And it was about the, I don't know, the stigma is probably the wrong word, but the opinion of sharing your location with your friends, like on your phone.
Oh.
Like, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
How you can do like the Find My Friend kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you can do a whole like share it for an hour or share it indefinitely.
Yes.
Right. And then of course, like if you do that and then you decide later on that you don't want to share your thing, it like tells the other person like, hey, so and so's not sharing with you anymore.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's kind of crazy.
And so like it was an interesting article, and I wanted to throw it at you and be like what do you like? How do you feel if someone were to say to you, you know, hey, we're good friends. I'd like you to share your location with me. You know, that way if we're ever in this, you know, in the same general area, you know, maybe we can hook up, you know, have a coffee, you know, whatever, right? Like, and I was just like, it was interesting because what it said was like the younger generation,
they're doing it a lot.
They're doing it like crazy, and they're doing it out of safety.
So I guess I could see that.
And they're doing it out of like, how do I say it? Again, like the impromptu hookups, you know, where you're just like, oh, so and so is a block away, you know, and then you might shoot them a message and be like, hey, I see you're a block away. You want to grab coffee real quick?
Yeah. So, you know, me and my whole family share our location.
Right. So I think family units tend to do it quite a bit.
Yeah.
But like we're talking about friends, not family.
So I know I was riding with my daughter the other day, and we were leaving home, and we were going to check out some stuff because her 17th birthday is coming up. And she was like, it says my friend is at our house. And I was like, huh, that's weird. Like, you share your location with your friends? I'm like, okay, it is what it is. And she was like, well, I looked at it, and she's not at our house. She's on the interstate, which passes our house.
Right. It's right there next to your house.
It wasn't like right on.
It's close.
But it was close enough.
Right.
But like you said, the new generation, that's one of the things they're doing. You know, through Snapchat and other different applications. Me personally, like, I'm too old for that.
I don't know how I feel about it. Like, I can see the benefits of it, but then I can also see like the privacy.
You know how private I am about my life. So
like same here, you know. But then I think about, you know, all of our friends and like, you know, how nice would it be to be able to, you know, when you're expecting someone to show up and they're still not here, to be able to see where they are, and it's like, oh, they're still at work. I don't need to check up on them.
Okay. I could see that.
You know, but like, how often would that be? And, you know, the article actually talked about the girl. It was a girl writing it, and she had checked up on one of her girlfriends, and she was at a location that she wouldn't normally be. And it turned out that she had spent the night with a guy. Yeah. And so
now you got to answer those questions next day.
So she wondered, and in the article, should I say something to her? Should I either concerningly or jokingly, right? Or just not at all?
But see, that's part of it for me. Like, it's
none
of your business.
Right. It's none, right? This is in the realm of none, right?
So,
and so she ended up not saying anything at all to her friend. But I just thought it was interesting, like having to like contemplate that social dynamic, I guess. I don't know. Like outside the family unit. And I think
there's certain situations where I could see me doing it.
Like,
right.
Yeah.
Like, let's say we decide, you know, we're going to do a couple's dinner. Right. It's like, I want to know when you're heading out so I can head out, you know, at the same type of time, and we arrive at the same type of time, or that type of thing. Or, you know, we're supposed to be at a gathering, and maybe me and you know each other, but we don't know anybody else at this gathering.
Right.
So we want to make sure that we arrive around the same time. And, you know, so I think there's some uses for it. But for me, as the person I am, like, that's an intrusion into my privacy. Like, love you guys, but I don't think I want you to know where I'm at
all the time.
Like, that's a problem for me. That's too much.
Right.
That's way too much.
And I guess that's the like crazy thing with this younger generation, that they don't, I guess, I don't want to say they don't value their privacy. That's probably not the right word, but like they don't they're not as private. It's not that they don't value it. It's just that they for them because they're on their phones all the time. They
Yeah.
do everything on their phones. Like like companies know where they are. When they post
Mhm.
a photo, it says where they are.
Yeah.
And so for them to just share where they are to their friends, like that just a natural
But for me as
progression,
an old school
right?
person, right,
Right.
like
No,
that
I'm
that's
with
kind
you.
of it's kind of I feel like it's also dangerous, right? Like if so, and I know like I guess you can tell these different apps like who to share with,
Yeah. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you
right?
say like I can say, you, and that's it.
And that's it.
Right.
That might be okay,
I
right?
don't
Like,
know, but is it though?
well, I guess it
Like if
depends on
you
your
could just
friendship.
if you could just tell me where you are all the time.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
Right.
But
And I don't like feel some kind of way about that because like I
no,
get it. But
but
even if it's just you can pick and choose. Yeah, so when we say share your location, we're not saying share it with everyone possible. You literally pick and choose who you're sharing it to, but like you're still sharing your location
but
all the time.
so again, I think that's a younger generation thing, right? Like, so the way they interact is very different from how we
Mm-hmm.
interact, right? So
Yeah.
we interact through meeting people, right? Like, and holding genuine conversations.
Right.
Like, the younger generation, they interact through their phones. A lot of like
Yeah.
my daughter has a ton of friends. Both of my daughters have a ton of friends that like they met through social media. Like, this person goes to this school, this person goes to this
Right.
school, and like so they didn't know each other, but like all of a sudden they were in the same place, and they were like, "Oh, I see so and so is here,
Right.
so I follow them on social media. Let's
Right.
go."
And that's yeah,
We've
that's
liked each other's photos, we've commented on each other's photos,
right.
or we've snapped back and forth. So let's finally meet in person.
Right.
For me, I'm like, yeah, no, that's not.
Well, we don't meet people that way, right?
No.
I mean, like I've met a few people online, and typically it's around cigars or bourbon,
Yes.
but I don't talk to them regularly.
No.
Like I wouldn't consider them friends.
No. Associates at best.
They're acquaintances.
Yeah.
Like I know their name and I've seen their picture. I probably recognize them in public, but
Yeah.
like that's about it.
I mean, me and my youngest daughter went yard sailing the other day, and like, there was a young lady that I'm friends with that we went to high school together. Like, I was either a year um, before or after her. I can't remember which one it was, but like, she was at the yard sale, and we bumped into each other. I was like, "Oh, we're friends on Facebook," and I said hello. We said hello, and it was cool, but it's because we went to the same school and we passed each other
Right.
in passing before. But
Right.
like, would I want that person walking up on me because they seen my location?
Well, probably not.
No.
Like this would be close friends.
Yeah.
But like I don't even know if I want close friends knowing where I am. Like that's my thing. Like I totally get what you're saying, like, random people or people you aren't really close friends with, but even your close friends, like I don't know, man. I value my privacy way too much.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
I'm out.
Like
I'm out too.
But it was an interesting article, and I thought it would be fun to talk to you about it because I pretty much knew how you were going to be about it because we're come from the same sort of generation of,
Yeah.
we value our privacy a lot.
Yes.
So, but anyway, that was a little bit longer than I was hoping for. So we've pretty much met our limit here. So I guess my final thoughts on the cigar are, it's enjoyable because it's new, it's something that I've never smoked before, but I don't think that I would buy this again. Like the newness is a novelty that is nice, but
yeah,
beyond that, like I don't think that I would like buy this again.
It doesn't have enough nuances for me to say that I appreciate it enough for me to add it to my humidor, right? If I walked into a brick and mortar and there was nothing else I recognized and this was there, I'd probably get it. But I know for a fact that like any brick and mortar is going to have something else that I've smoked in. So this is not something that I see as like a real cigar that I would do on a regular basis. But it's a very good cigar, right? Like I don't want to take anything away from it and say like it's not good.
It's definitely not on the list of if anyone asks to tell them not to smoke it.
No.
It's not on that list.
No.
It's definitely on the list of, I'm not going to go hunting for it, but if anybody asks, I'm going to tell them to try it.
Yeah, give it a shot.
If you've never had it.
Give it a shot.
Yeah.
Right. I don't think the price point is outrageous.
Nope.
But then again, also at the same time, I don't think it's anything special. So that's my opinion, my 2 cents.
I agree.
The bourbon,
I mean, it's you can't go wrong with Penelope, right? Like I think that's what we've said it over and over again. And this one, like so before this one came out, the other cash strength was my favorite, like far and above the others.
barrel strength.
The barrel strength that was
Barrel
called.
strength.
Okay.
That's the red label.
And then this one came out, and I tried it, and I said, "Oh, we might have a competitor to the barrel strength."
I'm still a fan of the red.
So, I listen. I love them both.
I like them both, but the red it has a flavor profile that just
it does. I like the
very
sweetness
nice
on this one though. I think the
Yeah.
sweetness on this one is just really nice. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, if you haven't gone with if you haven't tried the Penelope brand at all, you definitely need to go give it a try.
Go give it a shot.
Yeah,
I don't think you'll be disappointed.
not at all.
With that being said, let's wrap it up, man. I'm Doran. No cool nickname, but you know what it is, man. And my co-host,
And I am Jason JV Smoke, and come see us on the next one. We'll see you later.